Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Avneet and I make videos about luxury items, luxury purchases, and just luxury lifestyle. If you are returning, welcome back. It's so good to see you after a slight hiatus. Today we're going to be looking at some of my 22 karat gold Indian jewelry collection. And for anyone who has watched my previous videos, whether it be my designer jewelry collection or any of my handbag collections or purchases, I have received some really beautiful comments, and particularly around the videos with jewelry, some of you have requested to see my Indian jewelry. And so I'm very happy to be able to share some of that with you today. Before we get into the jewelry, if you enjoy this video and like the content, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you are curious to know more about my luxury items, or you just like to hear my perspective on luxury purchases and luxury lifestyle, please be sure to hit subscribe. You're really helping me grow my channel and I appreciate all of your support. Just a little bit of background on me and how it ties into Indian jewelry. I am Indian American. I was born and raised in California, and about 10 years ago, I moved to New York. And so being an American and growing up in Western society, I very much enjoyed my childhood, high school, college, fully have immersed myself in that culture, which I am proud to call my own. With that, I'm very grateful to my parents, my grandparents, the elders who were around us as we were growing up, who really made it a priority to make sure that my siblings and I were also closely tied to our Indian culture, and more particularly my Punjabi heritage. So through language, food, traditions, customs, history, it was all a part of my upbringing. And so I really feel like I had a nice balance between being able to connect to my roots, but also my American nationality. Now, there's so many beautiful things about the Indian culture and all the cultures within the greater Indian and South Asian cultures. And one of those things is our jewelry. There's a lot of rich history, beautiful craftsmanship that you find in these South Asian pieces. And why I'm excited to share some of that with you is because jewelry is also very near and dear to my family's heart. My mom is a huge jewelry collector. She has the most stunning pieces. And it didn't just start with her. My grandmothers were also big on collecting jewelry. Many of my family members, my aunts, my cousins, my sister, have grown to equally love and enjoy Indian jewelry. My sister is inspiring in that she has continued to grow her 22 karat gold jewelry collection. Much of the time for young women, we first start acquiring jewelry, whether it be through gifts or heirlooms that are passed down at our time of our weddings. And my sister definitely got gifted some very beautiful items, but she's been married over a decade, and in that past decade, she's started to collect items and sets in 22 karat. So she enjoys it as a part of her life. And of course, these are great pieces that she could pass down to her daughters. With my mother, my sister, aunts, grandmothers, I've been inspired to also start to grow my collection. Now, what I'm gonna share with you today is just over half of the Indian jewelry that I own. I'd say in comparison to my sister and certainly my mom, my collection is smaller, but still you will see some very significant pieces. And even though it's just half, it is, in my opinion, my most unique and special half. The first group of jewelry that I want to share with you is my wedding set. So this is a Polki Kundan Set, and I wore it the morning of my wedding. It's known as an Anandkaraj in the Sikhism faith. And this is just such a spectacular piece. Now, the reason why this is called a set is anything that has a necklace and one other item of jewelry that pairs back to each other. Actually, it could also probably be earrings and a headpiece, but anything that matches becomes a set. And this set is a necklace with matching earrings, and we also purchased a headpiece at the time that isn't exact, but it is a Polki Kundan headpiece so that I could adorn it, and I'll show it to you in just a moment. Now, to share a little bit more about Kundan sets. Kundan is an intricate gem setting technique. It's made by setting uncut stones. In this particular set's case, that is Polki Diamonds, so uncut diamonds. And they're set into layers of gold foil. Kundan sets are honestly so regal, and they're oftentimes seen in bridal jewelry. There's tradition, there's richness, and just the way the gems are set in the foiling, there's just so much shine and shimmer in the way it reflects light without being overly flashy. Personally, I love Indian jewelry that looks antique in the way that Kundan and Polki diamonds look in Kundan sets. My wedding set is no exception, and I find it so incredibly elegant. I shared my wedding set, so the necklace and the earrings did not come with a matching headpiece, but we did purchase a headpiece at the time of my wedding so I could wear it the morning of, and we wanted to make sure it was a Polki Kundan style headpiece, and this particular headpiece is known as a tikka, and you wear it right at the center of, let's say, your hair party. So it's just another way to adorn yourself at special events like a wedding. So in the 22 karat gold, you'll see the Polki diamonds, and then this particular headset also has these gorgeous pearls that are dangling off the main medallion, let's say, and then the chain that sits on your hairline. Now, one thing you may have also noticed on my Kundan set that you didn't necessarily see on the headpiece, but I do want to point out before I bring in the next part of my jewelry collection, is in addition to this Kundan style of jewelry, there is this beautiful green color that comes through. And actually, if I turn the earring, and you see, you would find this same beautiful design on the back of the necklace. This is an additional type of jewelry art known as Meenakari. Moving a little along in my jewelry collection to show you more of this Meenakari type of jewelry, I have this pair of gorgeous Meenakari bangles that also have touches of Kundan style setting of Polki diamonds. Now, Meenakari is the art of enameling color onto gold pieces. They're hand painted, and the colors are there to provide this rich contrast to the gold. Now, my particular bangles have red and what looks like black, but this is actually a very deep blue color. I filmed some B-roll to get more close-up shots of the jewelry. I first recorded without flash, and then I recorded with flash, and so I'm not quite sure how they're going to come out, but when I recorded the bangles with the flash, you could definitely see that color. So I'll be sure to include that video here so that you can see in more detail the color that has been enameled onto the gold. In addition to the gorgeous colors, some of the other stones that you find on this bracelet are the Polki diamonds as well as some uncut rubies. And there is a small emerald right at this flower. So there's a couple of flowers here, and what's so sweet about Indian jewelry is just the attention to detail. So this is a screw, and if I unscrew this flower, the bangle will open up, and that is how you place it on your wrist, and then you screw the heart back on. And of course, Indian jewelers have it all figured out in that this screw won't actually fully come off. There is a stopper, and you screw it back in, and voila. I love these bangles, and when I see this style of jewelry, it really reminds me of my mom. She and I share a lot of similarities when it comes to our taste in jewelry, and she also loves this antique regal style of jewelry that you find not only in Kundan pieces but also in Meenakari pieces like these bangles. Let's move away for the moment from any of my jewelry that has gemstones or any beautiful art enameling or gem setting techniques, and look at an example of a solid 22 karat gold set. Here is one of my beautiful solid gold 22 karat sets, and this set includes a necklace, earrings, and a headpiece that's not a tikka. This is actually known as either a Jhoomar or a passa, depending on which region of India you're from. And this is meant to be worn on the side of your head to adorn your hairstyles. It's another way for either brides or anyone attending a very formal event to zhuzh up their look. Now, for us to call this nakam or without any work, it's not to take away how beautiful still the design work is on pieces that are solid gold. So you don't need gemstones to create gorgeous pieces. That does have an element of artistry and beautiful human touch in the work that jewelers do making sets like this. I love how this necklace has a little extra something, not just with the beautiful large pendant that hangs, but oftentimes you'll see in jewelry these gorgeous little dangling pieces that give it a little movement and make it extra special. You see a lot of those exact details pulled through on the earrings, this gorgeous, what looks like small palm tree, and the dangling details to add a delicate touch. Something else I want to point out on the Jhoomar or passa is this gorgeous design that almost looks like netting, and there are these kind of beads of gold that meet at the apex of all of the crisscross of the netting. And the way jewelers cut into just solid gold to make it sparkle and shine in different ways as the light hits it is quite spectacular. South Asian and Indian jewelry is just so stunning when you take a moment to look at all the details and the brilliance and the design that jewelers come up with when creating these special pieces for people to wear and enjoy. To keep with pairing bangles back to sets, I have this pair of solid 22 karat gold bangles, and look at the details on these. This beautiful pattern that almost looks like netting or gates, and those same cuts in the beads that are all a part of the solid gold jewelry, but the way they're cut into gives it this amazing reflection against the light. Similar to my Meenakari bangles, the way to get these on and off, because with it being not just 22 karat gold but solid, this gold is quite soft and malleable, so you want to be very careful. The more solid your gold, the softer it is, and of course the pricier it is, so you want to be extra careful that you're not damaging your jewelry. But there is this sweet screw that you patiently screw up, and then voila, the bangle opens for you to safely put on your wrist and then secure. Moving on to my next grouping of jewelry. Now, I shared earlier that my wedding set is the most special to me, and you can understand why. Not only is it beautiful, but it was a part of one of the most important days of my life. But if that is the most special, this next set is my favorite. This is a Jadau style set, which includes necklace, earrings, and a tikka. Now there's a lot going on in this set, and so it's sliding around in the box, but I'll be sure to pick each piece up one by one and tell you more about them. First, to share a little bit more about what Jadau style jewelry is. This is all about the hand setting technique of gems and pearls into gold. And the kicker is jewelers are oftentimes doing this without prongs. So this is a deeply traditional, historic style of creating jewelry. And Jadau style jewelry traced back to Mughal eras in the South Asian region of the world. This style of jewelry continues to be a widely loved style for weddings or heirlooms to pass on. I find my particular set to not only be a complete showstopper, but with the addition of pearls, it just is so delicate while also being so bold at the same time. It can be soft, it can be romantic, can also be incredibly luxurious. In my Jadau set, there are a number of different gems that are set into 22 karat gold. I mentioned the pearls, but there's also rubies and emeralds. You can see those gems a little close up, and I'll be sure to include a B-roll. Now, there's something different you may have noticed with this pair of earrings versus the other earrings you saw earlier. These earrings include something called a sahara or a ear chain or gun chain. Again, depends on the region you're from. This might be actually a little different than what a true sahara is, but what it is nonetheless is you put the earring in, and then this extra kind of chain of jewelry plus the string of pearls are meant to wrap around your ear, and there's a hole at the end of the chain so that you can fasten it with your earring stopper. It's just another way for Indian jewelry to bring this extra adornment to really dress you up. And then here is the headpiece, a tikka. So same design with the rubies and the emeralds and the pearls, and hanging down here are some green and reddish purple jade beads. And this gorgeous stringing of the jade and the pearls on the part of the jewelry that would sit in the parting of your hairline. Love this set. Again, it is my absolute favorite, and hopefully you can see why. I thought with the flow of the type of jewelry that I just shared with you, it's a good time to show you this gorgeous pair of gold and ruby bangles. This isn't a Jadau style. Maybe it is actually, I'm not sure, but it's beautiful and also showstoppers. These are gorgeous, gorgeous rubies set to make this kind of geometric, fun design on a 22 karat bangle. One kind of quick difference of how to get these bangles on and off is there's this security latch that you pop open, and then you pull your bracelet apart, then you connect it back, and you want to make sure you secure it by putting the latch back over and closing it. Indian jewelers with Indian jewelry, I get it, because this is very pricey. Oftentimes they are heirlooms that are passed down, so they do not mess around with making sure your jewelry securely stays on you. Why I love these bangles so much is not just they're beautiful, and I can definitely match them back to a couple of the jewelry sets that I own, but I also wear these when I'm out at fancy dinners or events that are not Indian events. You can wear these with your Western outfits, whether you wear one bangle on its own or two bangles together. So when I think about how I personally want to continue building my 22 karat jewelry collection, I'm going to be looking out for the pieces that can be traditional but also Western at the same time, just so there's more versatility in how often I can wear these pieces. So far, everything that I've shared with you and what I will share with you are pieces that I was gifted during my wedding time. Some of the pieces are from my in-laws. Majority of these pieces that I'm sharing are from my parents. When I speak to my mom about the jewelry that I look to purchase or add into my collection, she's very aware that it's more so pieces like this, as beautiful as those other styles are, and again, steeped in richness and culture and beautiful artwork and history. I want to make sure that if I'm spending my money on expensive pieces, I'm able to wear them as often as possible. And with that, this last set that I want to share with you is exactly that. Pieces that I can wear in my everyday life versus just to Indian or South Asian events. And that is a set of bangles. These I chose at the time of my wedding, and they are a set of 8 bangles. You'll notice some slight differences. Some are in yellow gold and the others are in mixed yellow and white gold. So adding some fun dimension to the set as a whole. They're solid 22 karat gold, making it more versatile to be able to match back to a variety of outfits versus gemstones, where maybe you are going to be a little more particular of where and with what you're wearing them. Sometimes I'll wear just the white gold, sometimes I'll just wear the gold, sometimes I'll wear all 8, but alternating between the yellow gold and the white gold. Let me just show you what that looks like. Voila. And sometimes I'll just wear 2. It really just depends. But in the summer and fall, when you are not bogged down with heavy sweaters and coats, when I'm able to show my wrists or my arms more, I'm definitely throwing these bangles on with cute dresses or fun summer outfits to add a little jingle jangle and sparkle to my look. Oh, I'd be remiss to not share that a set of thin bangles like this is called Choodiyan in at least Punjabi. I believe they call it Choodiyan in some other languages, but you know, India is a large subcontinent, and so there might be different words used for the same items. And so I just want to be mindful of that. I'm speaking from my experience and what I know about my culture. And so for anyone who is watching that isn't Punjabi and there's different words for either this set of bangles or anything else that I shared today, share it in the comments, because I'm always excited to learn more, and maybe I pronounced something incorrectly or I didn't get a detail on one of the styles of jewelry correct and you might have that information. I welcome you to share that, not just with me, but with the viewers in the comments. That's it, the part of my 22 karat Indian gold jewelry that I wanted to share with you. Again, it's a little over half of what I own at this moment, and even though I don't plan to share the second half, you know, I keep my jewelry secure at a bank locker, I was sure to bring and share with you, in my opinion, the most special and significant half. My wedding jewelry, my absolute favorite set out of all the jewelry pieces that I own, and the more everyday styles that I can wear in Western culture, like the pair of ruby bangles and the set of solid gold Choodiyan. For all of you, I welcome you to share what was your favorite piece, any tips you have for me as I grow my jewelry collection beyond the beautiful gifts and heirlooms that I've received from family. If you have any suggestions on a style of jewelry that I haven't shared that you think I'd like, leave a comment. And again, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. If you like this style of content in general, please be sure to hit subscribe. I'm going to definitely have more videos coming up on luxury items that I own and luxury purchases that I make, as well as a sprinkling of things going on in life and how to navigate all of it with some grace and fun. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.